This is where Mr. Kenyon held court, right here. If he was gone, it was locked. And if I needed to know anything, I'd go in and he would inform me. But this was his, I call it his office, you know. But this is the old store. And this is where I unloaded a lot of stuff in the middle of the night. I'm not going to say there's anything funny going on around here at Kenyon, but nonetheless, this was the place. Yeah, this was the place.
Excellent.
And my cabin was back there. I had cold running water, 2 beds, and a mirror on the wall, as I remember. It was pretty basic. My shower was out here in the lake. My breakfast and dinners was over there. And they washed my clothes for me.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it was very, very good memory for me. And I wished I remembered more, you know. But I got the memory of a mutt to begin with. But no, this was a great place to be.
Well, we're happy to have you here, both of you, very much.
I've been very happy.
Thank you so much.
You received us so well and been such a good hostess. It's just, you know, I think anybody that doesn't come up here, if they're missing something, they ought to come up here and check it out and spend a weekend or a week.
You gotta spend
Spend a week. Because you can't beat it for beauty and accommodations. I just can't say enough without sounding this has been a very happy 2 days that I've been here.
It's made our trip.
Yep, I'm glad we came.
My goodness. Well, on this edition of Michigan Magazine, we're back at the historic Kenyons in the Lupton area on Sage Lake, and with me is a gentleman who knows a little bit about this place before it is the way it is. We have Tom Finger. Tom, it's a pleasure. Nice to see you coming all the way from Arizona.
Yeah, Mesa, Arizona.
You brought all this warm weather up here with you, didn't you?
I shifted it up, yeah.
You shifted it up, okay, okay. Now, you have some history here as far as an individual growing up, don't you?
Yeah,
Tell
I
us.
have a few memories. Unfortunately, this was back in 1945 when I was 16 years old. My mind was possibly on cars and girls.
Okay.
Not recording history, but I worked for Mr. Kenyon that started this resort, and he was a fine person. He was a gentle person, I think. He wasn't too tough with me, but he had a way of asking to have things done that you knew wasn't a suggestion. He
Right.
could get it done.
Right, right.
And he was a fine person.
But he was a businessman, wasn't
Yes,
he?
he was.
Yeah, he was first and foremost, probably.
And as I understand, I just learned that he had been a sheriff in this area long before I ever knew him.
Okay.
He was probably, I'm going to guess, in his early 70s maybe when I moved here.
Wow.
And of course, I was hired as stoop labor, you know, they need somebody to swamp the boats, haul garbage, haul ice, there was all ice boxes then, and they would only hold about 25 pounds of ice, and they had to be hauled out of the ice house and hauled out in the same truck that I hauled garbage back. And that was basically what I was here for, plus anything that come up we wanted done that I was capable of. And it was a great adventure, and this is a great adventure for me to come back and see it again.
And see how it is now, David.
Yeah.
Can you remember how you got the job in the first place? How you approached him?
Yes. My parents was visiting my mother's brother up here in Rose City.
Okay.
And I read about it in Rose City paper. There's advertising for a young, intelligent young man to work in the resort business. And I thought, boy, when it said intelligent, I thought, yeah,
That's right
that's
down
me.
your line.
That's me. And but it was funny when my parents knew him vaguely. My parents was raised in Ogama County too. And they knew him from years back, and they knew where to find this place. And he was telling me the different things that had to be done, like the ice had to be hauled to all of these cottages and the hotel, and there's cottages on both sides, and garbage hauled away. And in my experience with working for my dad, anything I hauled was in a wheelbarrow. So now I'm starting to backtrack. I don't know if I want this job or not. Well, then when he said, can you drive a pickup truck? Well, he wanted me there because I love to drive. And I got to drive the truck, and the truck was instrumental in getting me up and going in the morning because behind the store where you first come in here, or meal or post office, I guess. It was a store to me, and there was a cabin behind there where I slept, and I ate in the kitchen. They did my laundry, and I bathed in the lake. But at any rate, Mr. Kenyon would come down in the morning with that Ford truck, 1940 Ford truck, with a rusted out muffler, and he'd park it by the store. And he'd race the motor a couple of times. Well, that was my clue to hit the floor with both feet were running. And that was time to get up and get moving.
Yeah.
And it was before daylight even, you know. But I had breakfast in the kitchen, and I ate well. They treated me wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was a good memory.
Okay. Brought you into.
And you know, Mr. Kenyon was very trusting of me. He would send me run errands to Lupton and Rose City, you know, when they needed something, or one time once to West Branch, and I thought, boy, you know, he put a lot of confidence in me. And so I was determined not to let him down, you know. I thought, I can't fail him, you know, because he put so much trust in me. And
it was a fairly popular resort in its time, wasn't it? I mean,
it was, you know, and I wondered when I come in here, you know, my folks knew where this place was. There was a gravel road that went all the way to the road that goes north to Rose City. That was to get out to that asphalt road was a gravel road. And when we first come in here, and I thought, where did all these people come from? How did they find this place, you know? There was Cadillacs, Lincolns, Packards, all big cars. I've never seen a Chevy in here, I don't know. But good people. There's been there's proof of Purple Gang
connections
connections in this area. And I know there was a little bit of black market, I would call it.
Right.
You know, everything was rationed at the time. It was still during the war. And I remember Mr. Kenyon waking me up about 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe, I don't know what time it is, middle of the night, you know. We have to unload a truck. And that's the only time I question him, like when we do it when it's daylight.
Yeah, right.
And not just unload the truck and don't say anything about it. And there was actually 100-pound bags of sugar, cases of cigarettes, which you couldn't buy.
They were rationed.
Ration. And coffee, which you couldn't get, liquor. And the store in the back behind the cooler that divided that store, we stored all the whiskey and cigarettes and liquor. And then I carried a lot of the stuff down in the basement that was intended for the kitchen. But I don't know, should I go into the detail about this is an unbelievable story.
Go right ahead.
Go for
It
it.
is.
For posterity.
And I hesitate to tell this because it's so hard to believe. He was asking me, where I come from. Well, I lived in the Frankenmuth area, and I said, we was up here visiting my aunt and uncle. Well, he says, have you gone up to see him or something? I said, well, no, not really, because I work every day,
Mhm.
And, well, he says, you ought to be able to get a day off. And the next day he says, I talked to Mr. Kenyon, and he says, I'll send you out to go visit your uncle. And I says, I can't hitchhike out here on a gravel road, who's going to pick me up? And he wanted to take my car, he says. Now we're talking about a Lincoln Zephyr pre-war model, it was fairly new, it was a V12, it was a good car. And I thought, wow. And I did. I drove it up to my uncle's in Rose City. And my aunt was so pleased to see me. She kind of partial to me anyway. My uncle was like a cat on a hot tin roof. He couldn't wait till I left. In his mind, I had stolen that car.
Oh,
Because he had to know that nobody in their right mind is going to own a new Lincoln Zephyr to a 16-year-old kid and say, here, take it.
Mhm.
But, and I knew he acted different, he was always nice to me, but at that time he seemed kind of glad to see me go. And,
But you kind of kept, you didn't show any, knowledge that you knew about what was going on. I mean, you were
No.
kind of naive to the extent.
I didn't really draw any conclusions until
Right.
after I left, and I thought about it. And I said, who are these people?
Yeah,
They were family people.
right, family. Mhm.
When I heard different young people here that worked here talk about the gangster
Mhm.
era, and I thought, this can't be, these are not gangsters because they're family people.
Mhm.
And they're very polite. In fact, I might tell you that you're not going to check my income tax anyway.
No, no.
I was making $10 a week,
Uh-huh.
plus tips
Oh, boy.
and room and board.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm here today. I come back to see if Barbara would hire me. And she won't go $10. She said, I'll go $7.50, I won't go a nickel more.
There you go.
So
There you go.
at this
It has come a long way from the early
Oh.
days, and it's surprising too, perhaps, to see all these passageways and secret entrances. And
yeah, see, I didn't know about
You didn't
that.
know about these?
No.
No.
No, they didn't show me that. They just showed me the stuff to carry in the basement. But no, this part of the basement I knew nothing about, only the far end
Uh-huh,
where you go down the steps.
uh-huh.
I used to go out beside doing stupid labor around swamping boats and
Mhm.
carried luggage up and steps. And
Right.
I tell you, and some of these people came with chests, huge. Wow, I mean, steep stairs. But anyway, that was part of the job,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's sad to say I don't remember a lot of
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah.
I know Barbara wanted to pick my mind,
Mhm.
and she's picking trash because I really don't have,
Well, it's
and I hate to embellish, I can do that.
Yeah,
I hate to make up a story,
but
but I don't want to
Yeah.
mislead her in any way.
Well,
Right now, I'm a little scatterbrained right now.
well,
When I get home, I'm going to email her a nice story about
there you go.
how much I appreciate what she's done here
Mhm.
and how well she's treated me. My God,
Right.
I've been treated like royalty. My friend Marlene.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, like family.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, like
Yep.
family,
Yep,
exactly
that's
like
true.
family.
Yeah. Maybe better than family in some
Better
cases.
than family. 'Cause my family was nothing. I was the youngest. And you got to be kind of a tough nut to be the youngest of all other kids.
Yeah, I hear
The
you.
other brothers were.
I can relate that.
Yeah.
So,
But I've enjoyed being here.
Tom, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking time out. And we'll be watching for your maybe exploits and a little story on the internet too. Thanks to Barb. Appreciate it. Thanks for being on Michigan Magazine.
Thank you. Thank you very much.